The Earth's military base on Luna looked like a city made of metal and glass. Inside its command center, Admiral Park Tae-ho stood before a massive screen showing the positions of humanity's warfleet. Ships that had been docked for repairs were now powering up their engines. Crews ran through the corridors to reach their battle stations. The Iron Fist was the pride of humanity's space navy. Its hull was black as night and covered with weapons that could destroy planets. The ship's main guns were railguns that used magnetic fields to shoot metal rods faster than bullets. Each rod could punch through the armor of any known alien ship. Captain Kim Sora stood beside the admiral, reading reports from the fleet commanders. "Sir, all ships report ready. The Seoul's Wrath and Busan's Hammer are in position. The stealth frigates are powering up their cloaking systems." Park nodded as he watched the fleet formations on his screen. 12 destroyer ships moved into attack positions around the Iron Fist. Each destroyer carried enough firepower to level a city. The smallest ships in the fleet were still larger than most alien vessels humans had ever encountered. "What do we know about the enemy?" Park asked. Dr. Song Ji-woo, the fleet's alien expert, stepped forward. She was a small woman with intelligent eyes who had studied dozens of alien races. "Very little, Admiral. The distress signal was badly damaged. We know the peaceful aliens are silicon-based life forms. They seem to be very fragile compared to humans. And their attackers? Unknown. But the desperation in the signal suggests they're facing something much stronger than themselves." Park walked to another screen that showed the weapon systems of his flagship. The Iron Fist carried fusion missiles that could crack open moons. Its laser cannons could cut through the thickest armor. The ship's shields could stop almost any attack. In the engineering section deep inside the Iron Fist, Chief Engineer Yoon Min-ho checked the weapon systems one final time. He was a big man with strong hands who understood every bolt and wire in the massive ship. The railguns were charged and ready. The fusion missiles were armed. The ship's power core hummed with barely controlled energy. "All weapons show green, Admiral," Yoon reported over the communication system. "We're ready for anything." On the destroyer Seoul's Wrath, Captain Lee Do-hyun prepared his crew for battle. His ship was smaller than the Iron Fist, but still deadly. It carried plasma cannons and torpedo launchers. The crew of 800 soldiers was trained for boarding enemy ships and ground combat. "Attention, crew," Lee announced over the ship's speakers. "We're responding to an attack on peaceful aliens. We don't know what we're facing, but we know our duty. Prepare for combat." Commander Choi Hee-jin stood on the bridge of the stealth frigate Shadow of Busan. Her ship was built to move unseen through space. Its hull absorbed radar and heat signals. The ship carried special weapons designed to disable enemy vessels without destroying them. "Stealth systems online," Choi reported to the Admiral, "were invisible to all known scanning methods." The human fleet represented thousands of years of evolution on a dangerous world. Earth had taught humanity to fight or die. Wild animals, natural disasters, and wars between human nations had made them strong. Now they were bringing that strength to help aliens who had never learned to fight. Dr. Song Ji-woo studied the little information they had about the peaceful aliens. Their message described a race that had never known war. Their ships were built for exploration, not combat. They seemed to live in harmony with their environment and each other. "Admiral," she said, "I'm worried about what we might find. If these aliens have never experienced violence, our very presence might terrify them." Park considered this. "Doctor, if they're under attack, our appearance will be the least of their worries. We'll deal with cultural issues after we save their lives." The Iron Fist's engines began to glow with blue fire. The massive ship slowly moved away from Luna Base, followed by its escort fleet. The formation looked like a pack of mechanical wolves heading toward battle. Inside the Iron Fist, 50,000 crew members prepared for war. Soldiers checked their weapons and armor. Pilots climbed into fighter craft. Medical teams prepared for casualties. Engineers monitored the ship's powerful systems. "Fleet reports ready for FTL jump," Captain Kim Sora announced. Park looked at the star map showing their destination. The journey would take 6 hours at maximum speed. He wondered what they would find when they arrived. Were the peaceful aliens already dead? Was their enemy still there waiting? "All ships, this is Admiral Park," he broadcast to the entire fleet. "We're going to save innocent lives today. Whatever threatens these peaceful aliens will answer to humanity's strength. Stay sharp, stay ready, and remember why we fight." The space around the fleet began to shimmer as the faster-than-light drives activated. Reality twisted and bent as the ships prepared to jump across the galaxy. The Iron Fist led the way. its massive bulk disappearing into a tunnel of distorted space and time. One by one, the other ships followed. Destroyers, frigates, and support vessels vanished from normal space. They were racing toward what they believed was a battle to save an innocent species from destruction. Behind them, Earth's moon continued its slow orbit. The military base waited for word from the fleet. Other ships prepared to launch if the admiral called for reinforcements. In the deep space where the Relaxian ship drifted helplessly, Commander Vextal and his crew continued their repairs. They had no way to know that the most powerful war fleet in human history was approaching their position. They worked peacefully on their damaged systems, hoping for rescue from the friendly civilizations they knew. The distance between the two groups grew smaller with each passing minute. Soon, beings who had never imagined each other's existence would meet in the darkness between stars. The outcome of that meeting would change both their peoples forever. Space itself seemed to tear open like cloth being ripped apart. A bright hole appeared in the darkness, growing larger and larger. From this hole came the Iron Fist, emerging from faster-than-light travel like a giant metal beast rising from the depths of an ocean. The massive human warship was 2 kilometers of black metal and glowing weapon ports. Its hull bristled with railguns, missile launchers, and laser cannons. The ship's engines burned with blue fire as it slowed from light speed. Behind it came 12 destroyer ships, each one a deadly predator in its own right. On the bridge of the Iron Fist, Admiral Park Tae-ho stood with his hands clasped behind his back. His scarred face was stern as he watched the tactical displays. All ships battle formation. Scan for hostile vessels. The fleet spread out like the fingers of a giant hand. Each ship activated its most powerful sensors, searching for the enemy they expected to find. The destroyers Sol's Wrath and Busan's Hammer took positions on the flanks. The stealth frigates activated their cloaking systems and vanished from sight. Captain Kim So-ra studied her sensor readings with growing confusion. "Admiral, I'm detecting one vessel. It appears to be the source of the distress signal." "Where are the attackers?" Park demanded. "Sir, I don't see any hostile ships. The area appears to be clear." On the damaged Relaxian vessel Peaceful Dawn, Commander Vextal was working at a broken control panel when his science officer Corwin screamed. The sound was like crystal bells shattering. "Commander! Something massive is coming out of hyperspace." Vextal rushed to the sensor station and looked at the readings. His crystal body went pale with shock. The energy signatures showing on his screen were impossible. Nothing that large should be able to move through space by the crystal caves, he whispered. What manner of beings build such instruments of destruction? Through the Peaceful Dawn's observation windows, the Relaxian crew could see the human fleet. The Iron Fist hung in space like a dark moon covered with weapon emplacements. Its escort ships moved with deadly precision, their hulls gleaming with the light of distant stars. The Relaxians had never seen anything like it. Their own ships were built like works of art with flowing curves and gentle lines. The human vessels looked like they were designed by creatures who lived only for war. "Are those weapons?" asked Lixara, the youngest member of the Relaxian crew. Her crystal body trembled as she pointed at the railgun turrets covering the Iron Fist's hull. "I think so," Vextal replied quietly. "Each one of those cannons is larger than our entire ship." On the human flagship, Dr. Song Ji-woo studied the alien vessel through her instruments. "Admiral, their ship has no weapons. I don't detect any defensive systems either. It's like they've never heard of warfare." Chief Engineer Yoon Min-ho looked at his tactical display. "Sir, that ship couldn't hurt a space station with construction tools, let alone fight a war." Admiral Park frowned. Something was wrong. His fleet had enough firepower to conquer star systems, but there was no enemy to fight. Just one small, beautiful ship that looked like it was built by artists rather than engineers. Captain Lee. Do-hyun aboard the Sol's Wrath watched several Relaxians in spacesuits float out of their ship to look at the human fleet. The aliens moved like dancers, their crystal bodies catching and reflecting light in rainbow patterns. They were clearly built for a world without predators. "Admiral," Lee reported over the communication channel, "these beings look completely peaceful. I don't think they've ever seen a warship before." Commander Choi Hee-jin, monitoring from her cloaked frigate, added her observations. "Sir, their ship is damaged by asteroid impacts, not weapons. There are no signs of any battle here." The truth began to dawn on Admiral Park like a cold sunrise. His fleet had brought enough destructive power to glass entire planets to rescue aliens who had never known violence. The distress signal had been misunderstood. Open a communication channel, Park ordered. Let's find out what really happened here. The transmission crackled with static as the translation systems worked to bridge the gap between two completely different species. When connection was established, Park spoke carefully. Unknown vessel, this is Admiral Park of the Sol Defense Force. We received your distress signal. Are you under attack? The reply came in a voice like music, melodic and gentle. Commander Vextel spoke from his damaged bridge. Greetings, mighty warriors. We are damaged and stranded, but we face no attackers. We are the peaceful exploration vessel Peaceful Dawn. We sent a call for assistance to friendly civilizations. How did beings of such overwhelming power hear our plea? The bridge of the Iron Fist fell silent. Every human crew member understood what had happened. Their damaged equipment had sent a garbled message. The peaceful aliens had been asking for mechanical help, not military rescue. Dr. Song Jiwoo stepped forward. Admiral, we need to be extremely careful. Our very presence might be traumatizing them. Look at them through our cameras. They're shaking. On the main screen, the human crew could see Rylaxians gathering at their ship's windows. The crystal beings pressed against the transparent walls, staring at the human fleet in what could have been wonder or terror. Admiral, Captain Kim Sora said quietly, they probably think we're demons from their worst nightmares. Through the communication channel, Commander Vextal's voice came again. We thank you for responding to our call, warriors of the void. Though your vessels bring fear to our hearts, we are grateful that beings of honor heard our need. Admiral Park looked at his massive fleet arrayed for battle against an enemy that didn't exist. His ships carried enough weapons to end civilizations, and they had brought all of it to help fix a broken engine. Commander Vextal, Park replied, there has been a misunderstanding. We thought you were under attack by hostile forces. Attack? Vextal's confusion was clear in his musical voice. We know nothing of attacks or hostility. Our ship was damaged by asteroids during our exploration mission. We only need help with repairs. The Relaxian commander paused, then added, we have heard legends of your people, the warriors of Sol. They say you fight the darkness, so others may live in light. We thought such stories were myths. Admiral Park realized that his fleet's reputation had traveled far across the galaxy. Other species knew humans as the fighters who protected the innocent. The peaceful races lived safely because predators feared human retaliation. Stand by, Commander Vextal, Park said. We're going to help you get home. But first he had to figure out how to approach being so innocent that the sight of his warships might break their spirits. Admiral Park made a decision that would change the galaxy forever. He ordered his entire fleet to power down all weapons and maintain a safe distance from the Rylaxian ship. Only the Iron Fist would stay close, and he would personally lead the repair mission. Captain Kim Sora, you have command of the fleet, Park announced. Keep our ships ready but non-threatening. I'm going aboard their vessel. The shuttle that carried Admiral Park to the peaceful dawn was small and unarmed. With him came Dr. Song Jiwoo, Chief Engineer Yoon Min-ho, and Medical Officer Dr. Bae Yoon-jung. As they approached the alien ship, Park was struck by its beauty. The vessel looked like it had been grown rather than built, with smooth curves that flowed like water frozen in space. When their shuttle docked, Commander Vextal was waiting to greet them personally. The Relaxian leader's crystal body caught the light and scattered it in rainbow patterns across the walls. His 6 delicate arms moved in what seemed to be a gesture of welcome. Admiral Park, Vextal said, his voice like gentle music. You honor us with your presence. Though your great ship of war fills our hearts with fear, your kindness gives us hope. Park removed his military cap and bowed slightly. Commander Vextal, the honor is mine. We came here to fight your enemies, but instead we found friends. As they walked through the Relaxian ship, Park saw a civilization that had never known violence. The corridors were lined with art and scientific displays. Gardens grew in specially lit chambers. The crew moved with grace and gentleness, like dancers performing a slow eternal ballet. Dr. Song Jiwoo served as translator and cultural guide. She explained human customs to the Relaxians and helped the Admiral understand alien ways of thinking. Admiral, they have no words in their language for concepts like enemy or weapon. They literally cannot understand why anyone would want to hurt others. In the ship's engineering section, Yoon Min-ho worked alongside Relaxian technicians to repair their damaged systems. The alien technology was beautiful and complex, designed for efficiency and elegance rather than durability. The Rylaxians watched in amazement as the human engineers' strong hands performed delicate work with surprising gentleness. "Your people are not what we expected," said Corwin, the Rylaxian science officer. "The legends speak of warriors who destroy planets, but you are so careful with our equipment." Yoon smiled as he reconnected a crystalline power coupling. "We can be gentle when we need to be. It's just that most of the galaxy only sees us when we're angry." Dr. Bae Eun-jung treated the Relaxians who had been injured during the asteroid impact. Her medical equipment had been designed for battlefield conditions, but she used it with the delicate touch needed for crystal-based biology. The aliens were fascinated by human healing techniques. "You save lives as well as take them," observed young Lixara, as Dr. Bae healed a crack in her crystal arm. "How can the same species do both?" "Because sometimes you have to fight to protect those who cannot fight for themselves," Dr. Bae explained. "We learned to be warriors so others could remain peaceful." The real breakthrough came when Lixara showed Dr. Song their star charts. The galaxy, as mapped by peaceful species, revealed hundreds of civilizations that had never known war. There was a vast network of cooperation and knowledge sharing that humans had never known existed. "Look," Lixara said, pointing to the glowing map. "All these species explore together, share discoveries, help each other grow, but they all stay away from certain regions of space. Why?" Dr. Song asked. "Because the Dark Ones hunt there. The Zephyrian slavers, the Void Hunters, others who take what they want by force. We peaceful ones avoid those areas." Dr. Song realized the truth. "But we don't avoid them. We hunt the hunters." "Yes," Vextel said quietly. "Your people are legends among the peaceful races. The Deathworlders of Sol, who ended the Zephyrian slave trade. The Iron Warriors who drove back the Void Hunter fleets. We thought you were myths." Admiral Park began to understand something important. Humanity's reputation as fierce warriors had created a bubble of safety around their territory. Peaceful species could live and explore freely because predators knew that attacking innocents would bring human retaliation. "Commander Vextel," Park said, "how many peaceful civilizations are there?" "Hundreds, Admiral. Perhaps thousands. We all know each other, trade knowledge, share discoveries. But we live in constant fear of the Dark Ones who would enslave or destroy us." As the repairs neared completion, Vextal made an offer that surprised everyone. "Admiral Park, our peoples are very different. You come from a world of struggle while we know only peace. But perhaps we could learn from each other." "What do you mean?" "The Peaceful Alliance has watched your people for many years. We know you fight to protect innocents, not to conquer them. Would your species consider joining our alliance? Not as warriors, but as guardians?" Admiral Park was quiet for a long moment. He thought about Earth's long history of war and violence. Humans had fought each other for thousands of years before reaching the stars. But when they found other species threatening the innocent, they had turned their weapons outward. "What would that mean?" he asked. "It would mean the peaceful races would no longer have to live in fear. Your fleets could patrol the border regions. The Dark Ones would not dare to hunt where humans might respond." Dr. Song was excited by the possibility. "Admiral, this could be the beginning of something amazing. Humans could be the guardians of galactic peace." As the Peaceful Dawn's engines came back online, filled with the steady hum of restored power, the Rylaxians prepared to return home. But first they wanted to show the humans something special. "Admiral," Vextel said, "would you escort us back to our world? Our people have never seen a human ship. They should meet the guardians who protect them." The journey to Relaxa took 2 days. The Iron Fist and its fleet maintained a respectful distance from the alien homeworld, but even from far away, the human ships were visible as bright dots against the black of space. Relaxa was a world of crystal cities and floating gardens. The planet's surface sparkled like a jewel as billions of Relaxians looked up at the sky to see the legendary human fleet. For the first time, the peaceful guardians and their fierce protectors had met. "Look," Vextal said as they orbited his beautiful world. "A planet that has never known war, protected by those who know nothing but war. Perhaps this is how the galaxy was meant to be." Admiral Park stood on his bridge looking down at the crystal cities below. His massive warship, built to destroy worlds, hung silently in space above a civilization that had never hurt anyone. The contrast was stark, but somehow it felt right. "Dr. Song," he said, "begin drafting humanity's first diplomatic proposal to the Peaceful Alliance. I think it's time we became more than just warriors." In the weeks that followed, the Iron Fist became the first human ship to visit peaceful worlds, not as conquerors, but as friends. The galaxy's balance began to shift. The innocent no longer lived in fear, and the predators found themselves hunted by those they had once terrorized. The misunderstood distress signal had brought together two completely different ways of life. In the end, humanity's greatest victory was not won through warfare, but through becoming the bridge between the galaxy's warriors and its dreamers. And in the depths of space, where hostile fleets once roamed freely, the presence of human ships served as a silent promise. The innocent would be protected, and those who threatened them would face the wrath of Earth's children. Admiral Park stood on the bridge of the Iron Fist, looking at the peaceful alien ship on his main screen. The contrast was shocking. His massive warship was built for destruction, while the Relaxian vessel looked like a piece of living art floating in space. All ships, power down weapons, Park ordered. Move to minimum safe distance. I don't want to frighten them any more than we already have. The human fleet slowly backed away from the peaceful dawn. The railguns retracted into their housings. The missile launchers closed their bay doors. Even with weapons hidden, the ships still looked like mechanical predators to the crystal aliens watching from their windows. Dr. Song Ji-woo worked at her station, analyzing everything they could learn about the Relaxians. Admiral, their biology is fascinating. They appear to be silicon-based life forms. Their bodies are like living crystal, which means they probably evolved in a very stable, peaceful environment. What does that tell us about their psychology? Park asked. They've likely never experienced violence or aggression. Their species probably doesn't even have words for concepts like war or murder. To them, we must seem like creatures from a nightmare. Captain Kim So-ra brought up a detailed scan of the Relaxian ship. Sir, look at their vessel's design. There are no defensive systems at all. No armor plating, no energy shields, no escape pods. It's like they built it, assuming they would never encounter danger. Chief Engineer Yoon Min-ho studied the alien ship's construction. Admiral, their technology is actually quite advanced, but it's focused entirely on exploration and science. Look at these sensor arrays. They could map an entire star system in days. On the peaceful dawn, Commander Vextal called his crew together in their main meeting chamber. The room was beautiful, with walls that glowed softly and curved in organic shapes. The Relaxians themselves sparkled like living jewels as they gathered around their leader. My friends, Vextal said in his musical voice, we have encountered something unprecedented. The warriors of Seoul have come to our aid, though we did not call for war. Corwin, the science officer, trembled slightly. Commander, their ships are so large, so filled with weapons. How can beings who build such things have hearts kind enough to help strangers? Young Lixara raised one of her delicate crystal arms. I have been studying their vessel configurations. Each ship carries enough destructive power to shatter our moon. Yet they came here to rescue us. What does this mean? Vextal looked through the chamber's transparent wall at the human fleet, hanging in space like sleeping giants. Perhaps it means that strength and kindness can exist together. Though their appearance terrifies us, they have not harmed us. Back on the Iron Fist, Admiral Park opened another communication channel to the Relaxian ship. He chose his words carefully, trying to sound as gentle as a career military officer could manage. Commander Vextal, we would like to help repair your ship. May we send a small team aboard to assess the damage? The reply came after a long pause. Vextal's voice was uncertain. We would be honored by your assistance, Admiral Park. But we must warn you, our ship is not built for beings of war. Everything is designed for peace. We understand. We'll send only a few people and they'll carry no weapons. Dr. Song Ji-woo volunteered immediately. I should go, Admiral. I speak several alien languages and I understand their culture better than anyone. I need to see their engineering systems, added Chief Engineer Yoon Min-ho. I can figure out how to fix their ship without damaging their technology. Park nodded. Take Dr. Baeun-jung as well. If any of their crew are injured, she can help. As the small human team prepared to visit the alien ship, the rest of the fleet maintained their careful distance. Captain Lee Do-hyun aboard the Seoul's Wrath kept his sensors focused on the surrounding space, watching for any real threats that might appear. Commander Choi Hee-jin used her stealth frigate's advanced sensors to scan deeper into space. Admiral, I'm detecting something interesting. There are energy signatures from other ships very far away. They seem to be avoiding this area. Avoiding us? Park asked, possibly. These signatures match profiles of known hostile species. The Zephyrian slavers, the Void Hunters. They're staying well clear of this region. Dr. Song realized what this meant. Admiral, our reputation precedes us. The hostile aliens are afraid to come near because they know we're here. This gave Park an idea. The human fleet's mere presence was protecting not just the Rylaxians, but probably countless other peaceful species throughout this region of space. The galaxy's predators avoided areas where humans might respond to distress calls. The shuttle carrying the human repair team slowly approached the peaceful dawn. The small craft looked tiny next to even the alien ship, which was itself dwarfed by the Iron Fist waiting in the distance. As they docked with the Rylaxian vessel, Dr. Song felt nervous excitement. This was first contact with a completely peaceful species. Everything they did here would set the tone for future relations between humans and the galaxy's innocent civilizations. The airlock opened with a soft whisper of equalizing pressure. Commander Vextal waited to greet them, his crystal body reflecting the soft lights of his ship in beautiful patterns. Behind him stood several other Rylaxians, all staring at the humans with a mixture of fear and wonder. "Welcome aboard the peaceful dawn," Vextal said. His voice was like music, and his translator converted it into gentle, formal English. "Though your ships fill us with awe and terror, your willingness to help strangers speaks of great honor." Dr. Song stepped forward carefully. She had removed her military uniform and wore simple civilian clothes to seem less threatening. "Commander Vextal, we are honored to meet you. We come in peace despite our appearance." Vextal tilted his crystal head, studying the humans. "You are smaller than we expected. Your ship suggested giants who breathe fire and feast on metal." Chief Engineer Yoon Min-ho laughed, a sound that seemed to ease some of the tension. "No, we're just people. We build big ships because our galaxy can be dangerous." As the humans were led through the Rylaxian ship, they marveled at its beauty. Every surface was smooth and organic. The walls glowed with soft, warm light. Art and science displays lined the corridors, showing the wonders the Rylaxians had discovered in their peaceful explorations. "Your ship is incredible," Dr. Bay said as she examined an injured Rylaxian crew member. "It's like a floating garden." "Thank you," Corwin replied. "We build for beauty and knowledge, not for what your ships are built for." Engineer Yoon studied the damaged systems with growing respect. "Your technology is more advanced than ours in many ways. You just never needed to weaponize it." As the repair work began, Admiral Park remained on his flagship thinking about what this encounter meant. Humanity had built itself into the galaxy's most feared military force. But maybe their greatest victory wouldn't come from winning battles. Maybe it would come from protecting those who couldn't protect themselves. The misunderstanding that brought them here might turn out to be the most important mistake in galactic history. The small alien ship floated helplessly in the dark space between stars. Its name was the Peaceful Dawn, and it was in terrible trouble. The ship's engines were dead. Large holes in the hull leaked air into the empty void. Inside, the crew worked frantically to save their lives. Commander Vextal moved his 6 thin arms quickly across the control panels. His body was made of something that looked like living crystal. It glowed softly with a pale blue light. His people, the Rylaxians, had never built ships for war. They only explored space to learn and make friends with other peaceful races. "The engines are completely broken," said his science officer, Corwin. She was smaller than the commander, and her crystal body shimmered with worry. "We hit those asteroids too hard. The impact damaged everything." Vextal looked at the damage reports on his screen. The ship's power was failing. Their life support would last only 3 more days. They were too far from home to send a normal message. The communication system was also damaged from the asteroid strike. "Can you fix the distress beacon?" Vextal asked. Corwin worked at her station. Her crystal fingers moved over the controls like a musician playing a delicate song. "I think so, Commander. But the signal will be weak. I'm not sure who will hear it." The Rylaxians came from a world of gentle creatures and beautiful gardens. Their planet had no dangerous animals. The biggest threat on their world was something like Earth's butterflies, but even smaller. They had never learned to fight because they never needed to fight. "Set the beacon to call for help from peaceful civilizations," Vextal ordered. "Send it on all the friendly channels we know." Corwin nodded and began working. She had no idea that the asteroid damage had broken more than just their engines. The communication system was sending mixed signals. Instead of broadcasting on peaceful channels, it was sending their message on military emergency frequencies used by warrior races. The message that left their ship was not the gentle request for help they intended. The damaged equipment changed their words. What should have said, "We need rescue, our ship is broken," became something much more frightening. The automatic translation systems that received it heard words like massive threat and overwhelming force and cannot survive. Far away, on a space station orbiting Earth's moon, Admiral Park Tae-ho sat in his command center. He was a big man with scars on his face from old battles. His hair was gray and his eyes were hard. He had fought in many wars to protect humanity from alien threats. Park was looking at reports when the alert came in. The communication officer, a young woman named Captain Kim So-ra, brought him the message. "Sir, we're getting a distress signal," she said. "It's coming from deep space near the Centaurus sector." Park looked at the translated message on his screen. His face grew dark as he read it. The words seemed to describe a peaceful alien race under attack by a hostile force. The message talked about being outnumbered and facing destruction. "How long ago was this sent?" Park asked. "About 6 hours, sir. The signal is very weak. Whoever sent it is in trouble." Park stood up and walked to the large window that showed Earth's blue surface below. He had sworn an oath to protect innocent life wherever humans found it. If peaceful aliens were being attacked, it was his duty to help them. "Prepare the fleet," he ordered. "Full battle deployment." Captain Kim So-ra looked surprised. "The entire fleet, sir? For a rescue mission?" Park turned to face her. "Captain, we don't know what kind of enemy these aliens are facing. The message suggests they're being overwhelmed by a superior force. We're not taking any chances." He walked to his communications panel and opened a channel to the ship hangars. "This is Admiral Park. All ships are to prepare for immediate deployment. Battle stations. We launch in 6 hours." The Admiral's flagship was called the Iron Fist. It was the largest warship humanity had ever built. The ship was 2 kilometers long and carried enough weapons to destroy entire cities. Its hull was covered with railguns that could fire metal rods at incredible speeds. It had missiles that could crack apart moons. As the fleet prepared to launch, Park thought about the unknown aliens who had sent the message. He imagined them hiding in fear while enemy ships attacked their homes. He would not let that happen. Humanity had learned to fight because their world was dangerous. Now they would use that skill to protect those who could not protect themselves. "Admiral," Captain Kim So-ra said, "the fleet reports ready." Park nodded. "Take us out, Captain. Maximum speed to the Centaurus sector." The Iron Fist and its escort ships powered up their engines. The massive fleet moved away from Earth like a school of metal sharks swimming toward battle. They carried humanity's most powerful weapons and their best warriors. Meanwhile, on the damaged Rylaxian ship, Commander Vextal and his crew continued to wait for rescue. They had no idea that their broken distress signal had been heard by the galaxy's most feared warriors. They did not know that a fleet capable of conquering star systems was now racing toward them at faster than light speed. "Do you think anyone heard our message?" Corwin asked. Vextal looked at his damaged ship and his frightened crew. "I hope so. I hope someone kind is coming to help us." In space there are no sounds. The vast fleet of human warships moved silently through the darkness, carrying death and destruction to defend those they believed needed saving. Neither side knew they were about to meet, and neither understood what the other truly was.